The Resilience Across Borders podcast is intended for education, support, and inspiration. I am not a psychologist or a medical doctor and do not offer any professional, medical, or health advice. If you are dealing with or suffering from any psychological or medical conditions, please seek help from a qualified health professional. Hello and welcome back to Resilience Across Borders podcast. I am your host, Rachid, and in today's episode, we will talk about teaching ourselves or reminding ourselves and also teaching others how to get focused and equally important, how to stay focused. So in our fast-paced modern world, the ability to concentrate and stay focused is obviously a very, very valuable and necessary skill when we're being pulled in all kinds of directions and distractions abound, basically. And it can be challenging to maintain your attention on any one particular task for too long, or maybe on the tasks that matter most. So, however, with the right strategies and a little practice, you can teach yourself to get and to stay focused. So in this episode, we'll explore tips, strategies, and examples to help you master the art of focus and maintaining concentration. So a reminder first of the importance of focus. Before getting into strategies, it's essential to remind or help understand of why focus matters. When you can focus on a task and concentrate on it, you become more productive, making fewer errors, and you complete projects more efficiently. And overall, your well-being and your productivity improves. And you also experience reduced stress and increased satisfaction in your work. Knowing the benefits of focus can motivate you to develop this skill. Again, it's also reminders because we can get carried away and we can get sucked into the distractions and the Netflix of the world and the Instagrams of the world and go on and so on and so forth. So nothing like that feeling of having done what you need to do as opposed to feeling like shiitake and beating down on yourself for missing deadlines or not being able to move forward with things like move forward with projects or to move forward in life in general. Because obviously, those actions, behaviors become habits, and then our habits lead to our results. And what is life if it's not a culmination of all the different habits and results? So we need to create a distraction-free environment as one of the first steps in improving focus. This creates less drag and less resistance, just paves the way for better focus. To start eliminating distractions, for instance, think of this example. Suppose you're working from home. You can designate a specific workspace free from clutter and free from noise. You can turn off notifications on your computer and your smartphone, or you can use apps designated to block distracting websites during work hours. Otherwise, you will be interrupted. You will be yanked away from your area of focus by email, messages, calls, chimes, conversations, and so on until your day completely gets away from you. And then you look back and you're like, what did I do today? You can't think of anything. It's all fluff. It's all just been like scrolling up or down or channel surfing, God knows what. As someone who has been guilty of that, as someone who's squandered a few days here and there, and if depending on how far you go back, maybe weeks or maybe even months, maybe even been years, who knows? But anyways, as I became more mindful of this, I saw a huge difference in just being mindful of what I do, what I spend my time on, and especially starting with the things that matter most first before I start getting pulled into others. So it helps to set clear goals and to prioritize. So when you have a clear sense of your goals, it's easier to stay focused. For instance, write down your daily or weekly objectives and prioritize them based on importance and deadline. Of course, the important stuff first, and the important and the pressing is obviously the top of the pyramid, and that the ones that need to take precedence over everything else. So as they say, pressure makes diamonds. And when we have deadlines, we just get stuff done. It's a human nature that how it works. For instance, think the last couple of days before you go on a vacation. How much stuff do you enthusiastically take out? That's kind of self-imposed deadline. Most times you find that you surprise yourself with how much you get done when you're up against a deadline. Another example, let's say you're a student with multiple assignments. Outline them and highlighting the most important ones and the most pressing ones. And by breaking down your goals, you can tackle them one at a time. Divide and conquer. So you outline them, you prioritize them, and you take the most important one, and then you break it down into the first step that you need to take, and then the next, and so on and so forth, depending on the complexity of it. So staying focused on each as you go. So it's kind of salami slicing the big items so that you don't get intimidated or overwhelmed or paralyzed by the complexity or immensity of it all. Because this way gets a lot of people too stuck, is that all of this becomes pie in the sky because, yeah, another day because I don't have the time today, or this or that, or it's too big of a project, I can't do it all in an hour. But what about you do what you can within an hour, right? So you keep moving the needle forward, right? And so if you are not already familiar with time management techniques, use time management techniques like the Pomodoro technique to help you concentrate effectively. This method involves working in 25-minute intervals or Pomodoros, and then followed by 5-minute break. And if you are familiar with this already, consider this a reminder, because I am familiar with it and I have to remind myself many times to kind of go back to it and then do those periods of like intense focus and intense concentration, then take a break, reset, do it again. And then after I do a few of those, I look back and I would have taken out a bunch of things and taken care of a lot of things. And of course, I feel really satisfied and happy with myself. And another example, if you're like a writer, commit to writing for 25 minutes without any interruptions, and then take a short break. Repeat this process a few times, and you find that you're maintaining focus throughout your writing sessions. Another key thing that you've heard me talk about throughout the different episodes is mindfulness and meditation. Practicing mindfulness and meditation can significantly improve our ability to focus. This technique teaches us how to be present in the moment and reduce the impact of distraction. It's just another way to train the brain to stay focused and to rein in the lizard brain. As with most things, training. An example, before starting a project, take a few minutes to meditate, clear your mind. This can help you start your work with a fresh and focused perspective. Get any ideas that are just ricocheting in your head and like kicking around in your head, you have the opportunity to get them down, clear the cache, basically like clear the cache and streamline your operating system, so to say. And of course, I know this sounds obvious, but staying organized. Some of these things may sound cliche, some of them may sound simple even, but simple is not always easy, especially when it comes to keeping with the simple things consistently. A lot of the things that we can do to stay focused are simple, but again, don't confuse simple with easy. So especially when trying to keep the simple steps consistent and to do them consistent. So a cluttered workspace can lead to a cluttered mind. Keep your workspace organized to help maintain focus. Again, you need to do this on intention, because we all kind of tend to accumulate that clutter little by little, and clutter just sucks the energy out of any space. So declutter every now and then, make it a periodic, regular thing that you do once a week, once every couple of weeks, once a month, whatever. It's like it tends to accumulate. So for instance, if you're a designer, you can organize your digital files into folders and your physical tools neatly in a workspace. When everything in its place, you'll waste less time searching for what you need or hunting down for any particular thing, which again increases that risk of being distracted, being sidetracked, and ending up not doing what you need to do. So having everything together kind of allows you to plug and play kind of in a way. You sit down and everything is right there. You reach, your pen is right there. You reach, your notebook is right there. You reach whatever, your ruler, whatever you need, the tools are right there. So you don't have to go on a wild goose chase and then you end up forgetting what you're actually trying to. So anyways, also, of course, goes without saying, but prioritizing health and well-being is not always obvious, right? So your physical and mental health plays a crucial role in your ability to focus. Ensure you're getting enough sleep, eating well, and exercising regularly. Since I started, for instance, measuring my sleep and really tracking it to see how much REM sleep I'm getting, how much deep sleep I'm getting, it's amazing how much correlation I'm finding between my level of energy and lack of tiredness and my ability to focus, my ability to get shiitake done, and just like overall well-being, and also how I exercise, how I approached exercise, my mood, everything's just like got better once I paid attention to my sleep, not just the quantity, but also the quality of it. And also, of course, as I started being more mindful and paying attention to what I'm eating. And when I'm eating it, also huge difference. So imagine you're a software developer working on a tight deadline. Instead of pulling an all-nighter, prioritize sleep and take short breaks to go for a walk, for instance, or do something else that's refreshing, resetting, re-energizing. You'll find that your focus and productivity improve with a rested mind and body. Instead of just banging yourself or your head against the wall and saying, I'm not getting anything done, but you're tired, and then you're just like, you're getting more tired, and so on. So sometimes just rest is just as important. And you may say, what does this have to do with anything? But I'm a big believer in practice gratitude, because a positive mindset can help you stay focused. Practice gratitude by reflecting on the things that you appreciate in your life. Again, this affects like your mood, it affects your setup, it affects how you approach the day. It just sets a positive tone for how the day goes. So you can start your day by jotting down a few things you're grateful for. This positivity can help create more focused and motivated mindset. And then typically when you're doing this too, you'll find that inevitably some of those accomplishments and some of those things that you've done that worked are highlighted and come up. And that again puts you in a positive mindset and also motivates you, right? So anyways, in conclusion, learning how to teach yourself to get and stay focused is an ongoing process. Very important. It's an ongoing process. It's not one and done. Key is to experiment with various strategies and find what works best for you. Whether it's creating a distraction-free environment, setting clear goals, practicing mindfulness, or prioritizing your health, or all, or a combination of any of these. The goal is to cultivate the ability to maintain your attention on the task at hand. With patience and with practice, you can become a more focused and productive individual, therefore achieving your goals with greater ease and satisfaction. As always, thank you for tuning into the Resilience Across Borders podcast. If you are enjoying this podcast and finding it helpful to you, please let us know so we continue to make more. You can do that by leaving a review, subscribing where you can, or leaving a comment or sharing with others who need to hear it. Remember to be kind to yourself and to be kind to others and stay resilient.